was right there.
Oh, yeah.
And then like when it was time to do his verse, we switched.
Nice.
It's all about the hair. All about the hair. Right there. And then like when it was time to do his verse, we switched. Oh, it's already live. And then, like, I did not know that.
Sorry?
I didn't know it was already live.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, let me just.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like doing that where we just kind of go live. I find it's a good icebreaker. But yeah, those are your headphones if you want to use them.
Okay.
Feel free to not to, but it's good to hear yourself. And you want that mic right up, like almost like you're eating it.
Right up here, yeah.
Yeah, so situated, however is most comfortable for you. All right, welcome to welcome to Tiny Talk number 39. We're approaching 40, and we're going to reach 40 tonight later on with Roman the Writer. But tonight, right now, number 39, we're here with one of the most electric DFW artists that I've ever seen. Someone that I wanted to actually like fashion a dance floor on that tiny stage just for him. But please help me in welcoming the amazing Gregory. Gregory? Because we got the accent, right?
No,
I guess you like that, right?
It's just
Gregory.
It's just Gregory.
It's just Gregory.
I put the accent there, just because there was already a Gregory. Like, I think there was already a streaming. Yeah, it was already taken.
Yeah.
So like, is this you? And I was like, okay, let me differentiate.
Is it like the underscore on Instagram? You gotta like differentiate yourself a little bit.
Yeah. So like the gregarious is like. I wish I had like a cool origin story for that, but I really don't. It's just in middle school, I was doing something.
Instagram, as you can see on the screen right now, is gregarious underscore second.
I was like in middle school, and like I randomly opened up the dictionary. I think I was like in history class or something, and I opened it up, and the first word I saw was gregarious, and I was like, oh, it has
really?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, it has my name in it.
Interesting.
But it means to be social, which I thought was kind of interesting because as a kid, I tend to be a bit more reserved, and I was the shy kid.
No freaking way.
Yes.
I would not believe that. No.
It's the age-old trick. Yeah. I mean, the most dynamic performers tend to be the most shy.
Yeah, I guess.
Which my actual name, Gregory, in Greek, it means to be watchful, which I think that makes more sense for me because I am a Virgo. I'm very observant. I'm very particular about things. So I thought, I was like, oh, this is kind of like a nice dichotomy. But yeah, it's just, I just thought it would be fun to use it as an Instagram name. But I'm starting to open up to the idea of like, oh, maybe it could be like a fun alter ego type of thing.
I was kind of wondering, why wouldn't that be like your stage name? Because like it has even like a sort of serendipitous kind of like story to it. You know what I mean?
I know some of these words. I like that word. No, I just really like Gregory because it's like I also act too, and I didn't feel like I needed to have like two different names.
Got you. Okay.
So it's like as an actor, it's gonna be my full name Gregory Oliphant, but I think
is it also a family name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I'm named after my dad, so technically I'm a junior.
See, yeah, I get it.
Which I don't.
I'm Carlos like the 6th or something. I don't even know. Yeah.
I don't really like that. I don't like that I don't have my own name, but. I do feel like Gregory is my name, so it feels like as I become more into my own as an artist and as a performer, it's like, no, I'm going to take the name for myself.
Yeah.
So when you look at my name, it's going to be me and not a random picture of my dad fishing or like his.
Just with the accent over the it says
right.
Gregory.
And so it's a little different. So it's like, yeah, this going to be my name.
Gregory.
Yeah. But I went through a couple different variations because like at first I was like, oh. Maybe because I looked it up because my last name is Oliphant, is French. My family's from Louisiana, So I was like, okay, what's like the French way to pronounce my name? And they had an accent on the E and the O, and I was like, that's too much. So I was like, maybe
So
just an
how is it
accent.
pronounced properly?
I think it's
your last name.
I think French is like Gregory.
Gregory.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if it's like Spanish, it'd be Gregorio. But yeah, I was like, I saw different ways to pronounce my name, and they were like, oh, there's an accent on the E, accent on the O. Oh, you can put like an apostrophe, like split it and be like Ori.
And those are different personas.
Right. And I was like,
that's brilliant. Yeah.
And so I went through a couple different trials. Like if you look at my Google Drive and see like the Hit Boy before I released it, I had a couple different mixes where I was like, okay, I'm like, let's stick with this. And then a couple days later I would change it. And then a couple days later I would change. And so I was just like, I'm going to stick with the O. And then once I did that, I was like, okay, that makes the most sense.
Hell yeah.
Because I wanted it to be subtle. I didn't want it to be too much. I was just like, all right, like let's find a subtle, like different. I can't speak.
It's okay.
Just something subtle. Not
I'm
like,
horrible at it.
Yeah. Because I also thought too. I was like, oh, what if I did like a cross on the O, and I'd be like, oh, that could be like a nice like I could do like a lightning symbol or something. Cause like,
oh yeah.
But I was like, no, I was like, that's too much of Andromeda. I was like, I'm not gonna steal from him. Shout out to him. He's great.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, let me just stick with the accent on the O. And I'm like, you're right, be cool.
Nice. All right, so with these tiny talks, I love to. So I see you all as like superheroes, and your superpower.
My favorite is Static Shock.
You're what?
My favorite is Static Shock. That's my favorite superhero.
Static Shock.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell me you don't know who that is.
I don't know who it is. I'm sorry.
That was like my favorite cartoon when I was a kid.
Static Shock.
Mm-hmm. So he was.
It's kind of funny that Static Shock is your favorite, because I was kind of gonna describe you in a similar kind of sense that you're like a sort of like like a Static Shock, like you're not expecting it, and then all of a sudden you're like zoop. But like it almost feels good too. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. like a Static Shock does. You know, like yeah.
He's a character from well, he started as like Milestone Comics, which they were technically supposed to be like a separate universe.
Milestone, okay, so
but that was like the 90s.
You're deep into this.
Yeah, right. No, I love. Yeah, I am secretly a comic book nerd.
I barely know Marvel. Like
I say adjacent because like I never actually fully read comic books consistently, but like I grew up on all the cartoons, and I would like watch a lot of videos that would do deep dives on like some of my favorite characters in the storyline. So like I'm pretty well aware of things like what happens when it comes to Marvel.
Right.
DC is a little different. I mean, I did watch the cartoons, but I don't know as much. But like Marvel, I really know, because like X-Men, Avengers, like those are a lot of my favorite characters. But yeah, Static was originally like Milestone Comics was like the 90s, where it was technically a different branch from DC because they owned it, but they just didn't associate it with it at the time.
Yeah.
But once Static Shock became like really popular, then they started to integrate some of those characters into the DC world. So as you see, like if you watch the show, you would see like the first 2 seasons, like it's just him. But then you would get to like the 3rd and the 4th season, they're like, oh, like now we're seeing Batman, now we're seeing Harley Quinn, because they were trying to integrate him into, because he was such a popular character. Yeah, he was one of my favorite cartoons, and the only reason that it got canceled was because the merchandise wasn't selling. And I was like, well, I didn't see him get a Happy Meal. Like I would have been at McDonald's. I was at McDonald's like every weekend. Like what are we talking about? Like, yeah, whatever. But yes, that's one of my favorites.
All right, so it sounds like the comic book realm is kind of like your thing.
It is, yeah.
From an early age.
Aside, like it was definitely like music and comic books first. My mom.
What was first, so music or comic books?
I would say cartoons.
Yeah.
Because like I would like.
All right, tell me the cartoons, because
I watch a lot. Well,
I am a '90s kid, but you know.
Yes. So I'm the youngest of 7. I'm sorry. I'm the second to youngest of 7.
Okay.
But it's so weird to say this because it's like I technically only have one full sibling, but like we all grew up together, so I don't think that way. But yeah, on my mom's side, I'm the youngest of 4, and then on my dad's side, I'm the 6th of the 7. But my mom will always say, like, even as a kid, she used to say, like, you just liked being alone. Because in my mind, I was like, I could just, all I really needed was the TV, because I was glued to the TV. I was either watching MTV, I was watching cartoons, that was just the gist of what I was watching. Yeah. But my dad also had like all of like the HBO and Cinemark and all the movie channels, so I would watch that too. So I was kind of just glued to everything.
Right.
And back then, like, we probably just had like one TV, so it was just like we all got to watch the same thing, which for the most part we have the same interest. But
and you were the youngest.
Yeah. So I basically just watched what they watched. But I was a little bit like obsessive. Like I did definitely had moments where I was like obsessed with certain things. Like I remember being like so obsessed with The Incredibles. Like I literally broke the disc because I watched it too much.
No shit.
I remember being obsessed with Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Like I was doing one of the fight scenes, and I grabbed one of the what are those like big clocks called? Like it's like I forget what it's called, but like the clocks that are like super big.
The grandfather clocks?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember I had like took it off the wall so I could use it as like an amp to like do like a fight scene, and I broke it.
Those are expensive as fuck.
Yeah. And so my brother was like, okay, we'll just say that it fell off. We're not gonna tell on you, but you can't watch that movie.
That's funny.
But I went through a lot of different phases. I like to say that I was always like a musician. I see it now, but I didn't know it at the time, because even as a kid, like when I would like watch musicals or I would listen to music, I'd be like, oh, like I really love those chords, or like, oh, I really love those harmonies. Like, did you hear that note that she did? And people would be like, I like the beat.
Yeah.
And they weren't listening to the same way that I was listening. And again, I didn't start really singing until like middle school. But what was first was definitely like just me just soaking in so much knowledge and just kind of really like picking apart some of my favorite things. And like like again, I say that I'm a Virgo, I'm very detail oriented. Like some of my favorite things wasn't even necessarily the movie itself, it would just be like watching the credits and just seeing like all the different designs and like how the project came together, and seeing that the director or the actor and like what the casting process was like. I eat that up. Like I really love that. Like, because if I really love something, I'm like, how is this made? Like, who are the producers? Who is the director? Let me find what other stuff that they like. And like, I'm the like my family are like the kings and queens of IMDb. Like as soon as we we would watch something and we're like, we know that person. Hold on, what were they in? Oh yeah, that's what they were in. Yeah. Or we would like quiz each other. And I'm still like that. Like I'll be watching something and I'm like, I like this person. What else are they in? Or I listen to a song and I'm like, oh, I like this person. What else have they sung? Yeah. Have I seen them in the performance? Were they on SNL? Like I'm soaking in so much knowledge. Like I would spend hours on like the Wikipedia page just looking. Like I would look up one celebrity and the next thing you know I'd be looking up another person from just like my admiration and looking up their journey. Like you remember Behind the Music?
Oh yeah,
I used to watch that all the time.
I love that shit, yeah.
Like I used to like see my favorite stars being like, oh, I'd love to see their journey, and I'm like, maybe I can have that kind of maybe that same kind of journey, because I always wanted to be a singer. Like I just had it in me.
All right, so this is a question I ask every artist, because maybe you don't remember, hopefully you do, but I kind of theorized that there has to have been a moment that it was a sort of like, I call it the Big Bang, like it was a spark that you were like, you know what, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to pursue in this way, the way that you are right now. So, like, I always ask, like, was it the lyrics first or was it the music first? Because sometimes people just learn how to play music and then they want to, like, accompany the music. Okay. So they figure out how to write, or vice versa, right? But you were saying that you always wanted to do music. You always kind of knew it.
Yeah, like, it was always, like, my first, like, I just always loved it. Like, it's like, if I really loved the song, it would just be, like,
was it always around song. You at home?
Yeah, I mean, like, we all... Like I said, I mean, it was like kind of a loud house. So it's like we were all playing music. We were all watching movies. So it's like I would just kind of watch what they watched. I remember...
Can I ask one question? And feel free to say next question, or I don't want to talk about it. But okay. You mentioned how, like, you were only, like, one sibling out of, like...
Yeah, I mean, 7? So when my parents got together, my mom already had 2 kids. My dad already had 3. When they got together, they had 1 kid. And they, funny enough, I have 7 siblings, but I was the only one that was planned. And they were like, let's have one more, and that was me.
Okay.
There was a bit of a weird period where my dad ended up having another kid, which we love now, but it was an awkward situation.
Sure.
I technically, because I was a babe, like I was 3 when he was born, so I didn't really know about him until much later. But if you ask my older siblings, like they have certain memories of like, like the where like the drop off and the parents fighting, and like they have a few memories of that. But I was a kid, so I don't really remember.
Right.
So, but even when that happened, like it was more so just like animosity between my dad, because that was all around 10, and to say the least, long story short, 10 was just a weird year for me. Yeah. That was like my introduction to puberty. That was like me discovering my sexuality. It was just like me discovering like an illness that I have. Like it was a whirlwind.
Do you think that period kind of influenced your music, like or at least the direction that you have?
I don't want to say not necessarily, but I pull from a lot of different things. Like when I write, I mean, for the most part, it's just really like a feeling that I have. Because I mean, technically, I wrote a little bit in middle school, and it was just kind of fun little. At first, it was like if there was a song that I would like, and I'd be like, oh, let me see if I can like rewrite a verse for myself.
Yeah.
And then slowly, I started to have ideas of my own, and then it was kind of writing about that, but then it kind of I started to have a dry period where I felt like I don't really feel like I have anything to say, and I kind of just pushed it away. Where I was like, all of this sucks. Throw the papers away.
When was that around?
That was like middle school, like 7th grade.
Yeah.
Technically, what came first? So the movie that started off for me is Dreamgirls. It's a musical that is loosely
Dreamgirls.
Yes,
that's what sparked the whole thing.
Yes, I watched movie and I was like, "Oh, that's
a good
like,
big bang."
that I remember watching that movie and I was like, "I want to do that," because I remember loving Eddie Murphy as a kid.
I remember divas are the divas, and in all kind of ways, right?
Beyonce is like my idol, right? But to see the rise of Jennifer Hudson, like I remember when I think that was one of the first things I remember watching her on American Idol, like. That's an early memory, but I do remember.
I remember that too. I was. I mean, I'm older, but like I saw that too. Yeah.
And then and what I learned later on was that like all 3 of the dreams were Virgos. Which Jennifer Hudson, she's September 12th. She's actually my birthday twin.
Hey.
Beyonce is September 4th, and I think Anika is September. I want to say 16th. It's like in the same week as Jennifer.
Yeah.
Jennifer and me. But I was like, of course it was, because I was like, that's that Virgo. But I just remember watching that movie and I was like, I want to do that. I want to perform. I want to sing. I want to act. I just want to do all of the things. But when I turned 10, I started to go through puberty, and with guys, it's like the voice drops. And in my
tries to, right?
yeah, and in my case, like my voice was just always deep. Like it's just kind of it just immediately turned into this. It didn't really I didn't really go through like a phase. It was just this.
Yeah.
And I mean, as the years went on, it got slightly deeper, but it hasn't really changed that much. So, for a while, like my parents would just call me tone deaf because I didn't really know how to sing.
Really?
What my very first voice teacher told me was, she was like, you have a big voice, you just don't know how to use it. And that's what sometimes happened with some kids, where like you can have a really big voice, but it's like you have to work on your tone,
right? Or
you have to work on your technique on how to build upon
how to open it or close it.
Yeah. And so I remember she showed me like a video, like they went down the tube of like a different voice types, like what one might be considered a soprano, one might be considered a bass, and you were to look at their vocal folds like inside, and it's like everyone is different. Where you look at someone like a soprano, like their voice is very light, very bright. Their vocal folds are very thin. Whereas like someone like me, it's like my vocal folds are like very thick because I have a deeper, richer voice.
Right.
And what she also told me was like as a bass, like basically once I went through puberty, my voice did this. So where like I had these low notes, and I kind of also had like high notes as well. Like I can always sing in my falsetto, like even in the morning.
Right.
But what was the weird part was the belting, was that I didn't really know how to navigate that, because it was like, when you go through puberty, your voice kind of like condenses. And when most people and most people kind of get discouraged from that, and they're just kind of like, oh, I can't sing anymore. And it's like, you can sing, you just have to push through it. So once I started doing theater in middle school and started doing musicals, I was learning to sing through it, which it took some time, but
how do you sing through it? Like literally kind of force it out, or like?
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of have to force it out, because it's like with every skill, like, it takes discipline.
Because I want to learn how to sing already,
but it takes discipline. But the problem is that it's like with guys, it's like they just want to immediately sound like, I don't know, Usher, for example.
Right.
But it's like, you're probably gonna crack a couple times, and they're just like, oh, well, I can't sing that. And it's like, no, you can't. Just sing through it, and eventually you can learn to sing through it. Like, what I mean, the gist of it is like, so everyone has like a tessitura. A tessitura is like where your voice sits.
Okay.
So like in Ariana Grande, for example.
Tessitura.
All right. So Ariana Grande, for example, it's like her voice is very high, right? Higher than most people. So immediately when she starts a song, it's like most people can't sing it.
Right.
But then you look at someone like an Adele, where her voice is very rich, where some people can sing her songs, but if they don't have the tone or the richness that she does, it usually doesn't translate well.
Yeah.
But again, that's just where her voice sits. It's just a much thicker, richer tone, and sort of in a more like general area that most people can kind of sing in. But you kind of need to build that richness to execute the song well. And in my case, like I was already like, I had a low voice, and most guys that sing on the radio are singing super high, like tenor, or trying to sing tenor. And not a lot of them are like, you know what I mean? It's like, I could sing Barry White. Right. And it's like, that's not pop radio, right? So right. I was just discouraged, and it was like, you can't sing, you're tone deaf.
So who put these limitations on you when you were 10? Was it yourself, or was it a teacher, or?
Well, I mean, it was like my family. They're just kind of like, you can't.
Your family.
You can't really sing like that.
Okay, so like, are they all musicians, or like in?
See, well,
involved in some kind of way.
Well, Carlos, like, I mean, as a melanated individual, we are all very musically inclined, whether we choose to believe it or not. So we all have rhythm, and we can all carry a tune technically, but I think I'm the only one that like actually like genuinely wanted to pursue it, like, because we're all.
But they're telling you to that your voice is this or that.
But they're also kind of doing that to themselves, because like I have a sister like who can really sing, but she just never thought of that for herself. And I'm like, Raven, you can sing. Love you, Raven. Or like my brother, like he can also sing, but like he's more goofy. Again, we're all really funny, but like he's definitely the funniest. But like we all have our different things. But yeah, I mean, I was discouraged pretty early on. So I remember in middle school, I started band first. So I wanted to do a theater camp, but theater camps were like $800, and my parents.
You have to pay for them in school.
Yeah, well, not in school, but like like the summer camps.
Oh, okay.
Like the theater camps, like those, were really expensive, and my parents were not gonna pay for that. They're like, you're gonna do sports.
Okay.
They're like, you just need to do something.
Did you play sports?
I did.
Which sport?
I did like, I started with soccer, and then I did football for a few seasons, and then I did one season of basketball. I sucked at it. Went back to soccer, and then I did 2 more seasons of like Pee Wee football, and then once I got to middle school, I was like, I'm done, because I really didn't want to do it, but it was like I didn't really have a choice. It was like, you need to stay active, you need to do something.
Yeah.
Which, like, I mean, I think people are better about it now, but like, in the 2000s, they're just like, he can't, like, we're not going to put him in gymnastics. That's girly, which is something I probably would have preferred.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I learned early on I didn't really like sports. Like, it's not that I couldn't do it, because I was fairly good at football. It's just, it wasn't what
now, there are some athletes that are good by themselves and some that are good with a team. Like, I thrive with a team. You put them by myself, I'm shit. But probably for you, it's probably like, giving my own, little.
I mean, well, because it's like, I like being in a team, like, in terms of, like, theater. Like, it was, like, that's where I learned. I was like, oh, I love being in a group. I love contributing and, like, collaborating and bouncing off ideas. But it's like, you can't really do that with like, sports. It's just, like, you got to stay, like, stay in your position, do your thing, do what you're supposed to do.
I can have a good argument with you about soccer. But
well, I mean,
we're gonna be here for a couple hours.
Soccer was a little bit better. However, I remember like being like the only like black kid, and I didn't like that either.
Where at?
I mean, it was definitely in Garland, but I don't remember.
It was in Garland.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up in Garland for a few years, and then I moved to Rowlett, and then now I'm in Rowlett.
All right.
So I've been basically in this orbit. I don't remember that feeling when I was super young because I was like 7, but I definitely remember when I said like I did one more season of soccer before finishing football. I remember that season really well, and like I did have one friend, but overall I was like I don't like being like the only black person. Like I feel like like when we talk about like race, not to get like super deep, but like
no, let's get deep.
We all have that, like we're talking about races, like we all have that one moment where we're like, oh, like there's a difference between, it's not just skin color that's different, it's like there's a cultural difference. And I think that was one of my first times where I was like, yeah, people didn't really get me. Like they just it was like he was weird, he's on his own thing, which I also felt that too with football.
It kind of makes me sad that like soccer didn't give you like a sense of like more acceptance because in my experience, man, I played with so many, but I am from Jersey, so it's very, very mixed. A lot of different cultures from everywhere.
I think maybe it could have gotten better like in middle school, but
it's all about like what you do on the field kind of thing, and then like even your culture brings something else to the team that kind of like enhances the team, and then your teammates want to learn about that, and then like that's how it was for me anyway. Like I know that the Jamaican culture, I know a little bit of Haitian even because of that, like because like they were around me, and I'm like and what they brought to the team was kind of enhancing, and now I wanted to be part of that too, like kind of enhance my skills in a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did, but yeah, I mean, I just didn't really feel it with that particular soccer team. And then going into football, like I really didn't like football because people were just so aggressive.
That was a bad team, whatever that was. Let's not call them out, but that's bullshit. If you have a good soccer team, it should not feel that way. You should feel very welcome, very seen.
I'm gonna say, maybe that's the truth, but I did not really have.
Don't get me started with that shit.
I didn't have the best experience, and I don't just want to blame it on like me being like gay, but I was just like, I just didn't really. I was always the weird kid, and I felt like once I got in theater, it definitely felt a little bit better.
Yeah.
But once 6th grade hit, I went to a band drive. And when you go to a band drive, you kind of get to pick out the instrument that you want.
A band drive? What's that?
So because it was like the summer before 6th grade, I like went to a band drive because I knew I wanted to do bands.
But like band drive, what was
that mean? They asked you to pick 3 instruments, which I was like, I knew I loved the sound of music and I wanted to be around music.
Okay.
And people were already telling me that I was tone deaf, so I was like, well, maybe I can be a musician for real.
Uh-huh.
And the only 3 instruments that I knew was saxophone, drums, and trumpet. So we start with the drums, and he gives me a simple rhythm, and I was like, okay, cool. And then he gave me a complex one, and I was like
a whole set, or
he was just like, let's just see, like, are you coordinated?
The rhythm,
yeah. And I'm not the best with coordination, so it was kind of like
bullshit.
No, I mean it's true. Like I'm like sometimes like my legs don't necessarily match what my arms are doing. Like if you catch me like doing like learning choreography, it's the same thing where it's like I have to kind of see what my legs are doing first and get that sorted, and then fill in the blanks with my arms. Because if I try to do it at the same time, it's just gonna be like. So the drums didn't work, and then they gave me the trumpet, which I didn't know that like when you play the trumpet, you have to have like a specific kind of like arm pressure, and then you have to like, you have to blow a specific way.
It fluctuates, right?
Yeah. But they didn't do that. They were just like, just blow into it. I was like, okay, nothing coming out. And they're like, all right. So then they gave me the saxophone, and I did the same thing. They're like, just blow into it, and they're like, oh, okay, you're good at saxophone. I think if they would have explained the trumpet better, like maybe I could have been a trumpet player. I don't know. But
how did you even know the saxophone and trumpet already?
I mean, I feel like those are like the basic instruments that people know.
Bullshit, basic. Yeah. Okay, so
when I think of
my first instrument was saxophone, but that was only because my best friend back home was also playing saxophone, so I kind of wanted to play with him. But that is not basic at all. Like
I mean, besides guitar, like I didn't really. Yeah, those are the 3 ones that
drum
I do.
Is pretty basic if you want to call something basic. Like drums are like.
not like basic, but it's just like those are like what most kids will know. They're like, oh yeah, play the drums, or oh, play the sax, because I'm like one of my favorites. Like I remember, listen, like okay, I'm young, guys. So I wasn't the most familiar with Whitney Houston before she died. I knew certain songs. I just didn't equate that to her.
Because I'm old. That's why I'm gasping.
I know. It was the same with Michael Jackson too. Like I knew certain songs. I did.
It breaks my heart that you didn't know Michael Jackson when you were.
But I remember, like, as soon as they died, it's like all of a sudden, because I grew up watching MTV, and around the 2000s they weren't really playing those particular artists. Like I don't even think
they were playing videos mainly. Like
yeah, but they were playing Rihanna, they were playing Beyonce, they were playing Eminem,
and clips too.
They weren't playing a lot of what was playing in the 80s.
Right.
Like obviously once I started to see a little bit of difference once they died, because then they were doing like countdowns, like top 100 songs of the 90s, top 100 songs of the 80s. Like that's when I started to really like get into music, around that time. But I remember like both times when they died, with Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, I remember all of a sudden like all I'm seeing is like everybody talking about them, playing their music nonstop, seeing all their videos, seeing their biopics, biographies, documentaries. I'm like, oh wow, they were a big deal. Which again, I knew certain songs. Like Michael, I'm like, everybody knows Thriller. Like I knew that as a kid, but I didn't equate that to him because I never saw the video. But once he died, it was like they're playing all of his videos. My mom bought his greatest hit CD, and I was like, oh wow, like I was like, oh my god, like he's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And that was like one of my first like obsessive phases where I'm like, I was playing his music nonstop. I was watching all his music videos. I remember trying to recreate the Scream dance with my sister.
Oh no shit!
Like I was like, oh my god.
Tell me this video somewhere.
Yeah, and with Whitney Houston, like I remember seeing like I Will Always Love You and hearing that saxophone solo, and I was like, I want to do something like that. And so when I went to that band drive, I was like, okay, I want to like learn how to play sax. And it was pretty good, but I had to convince my dad, because around that time I was literally quitting everything. I was quitting Pee Wee football. He was like, do you want to do soccer again? I was like, no. Like, do you want to try baseball? Which that was the first thing I wanted to do, but he said no. But when he asked me again, I was like, no, like I really want to do band. He was like, all right. And he just rented out the horn the first year. He didn't buy it officially until the next year, because he saw how much I was practicing and saw how much I really was into the music.
I'm sorry, were you in public school where they had like a band available for this kind of thing? Because like, that's why I'm like,
I mean, like elementary,
I didn't have to rent out a saxophone. Like it was part of this.
Well, it was like
thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was
back in the 90s though.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like a part of like the.
But this is kind of separate, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a part of like the band program. So like you were, it was kind of sponsored through Yamaha, which is one of the music stores. So they were like, you can buy the horn now, or you can like rent it for a couple of years, and if he decides like, oh, next year I'm going to do something different, like no worries, like you were just renting it, and they'll clean it out or whatever, and give it to someone else.
Okay.
Which like he wasn't like being cheap. It's just like he just saw me quit a bunch of things, and he was like, he's probably going to quit this.
Just curious about the opportunities that you had, because like I remember like if I just decide to play a freaking tuba, I can just go to my school and be like, hey, I want to play tuba.
Yeah, I mean,
try out and like
it's a little,
but
yeah, I mean, you could do that like more so like in high school, but like middle school, it was like, well, you can just rent out the horn and pay however many months or years or whatever. But yeah, like after once it got to 7th grade and he saw like how passionate I was, he decided to buy it, and he was like, all right, like he's gonna stick with it. And so what came first was the saxophone, and through that, I was kind of teaching myself how to sing, because I was kind of mimicking whatever the sax was doing.
Tones,
yeah, I was trying to see. I'm like, okay, like is it this note? I was kind of doing that, and it was also around that time where I was like really getting into music and like learning deep dives, and I had a phone for the first time and was on YouTube and like really like researching things. Again, I really love Dreamgirls, so learning that was the Supremes, I was like watching their clips from them on the Ed Sullivan Show for the first time. I was listening to Janet Jackson for the first time. Like, I mean, I knew who she was before, but like I was getting into her albums, and I was really going into the deep dive. I was really listening to Beyonce for the first time. Like, again, I knew who she was, but I'm like listening to her albums straight through. Because again, before I would just listen to what my siblings were listening to. But now that I was in middle school and I had my own phone, it was like, oh, like I can listen to these albums straight through. And I'm like, oh wow, I really love deep cuts. I really love the ballads. was getting into Mariah. I was getting into Barbra Streisand. I was just getting into so many things.
Barbra Streisand, no, yeah. Wow.
I mean, because 7th grade too.
Bonnie Raitt.
Yes, that's my mom's favorite singer.
Hey,
one of her favorites.
I love Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah, she loves Bonnie Raitt. But so many different things. So that was 6th grade, and then in the 7th grade, I was again slowly teaching myself how to sing, and I was supposed to take a health class 7th grade, but they mixed things up, and I ended up taking a theater class with band. So it was such a blessing in disguise because I always wanted to get into theater.
I was like, you seem like a natural theater. I was going to ask earlier. I was like, you have to be a theater person from the beginning. Like in my head, I was like, from the beginning, it had to have been theater, and then music happened afterwards.
I actually auditioned because you have music class in elementary. I auditioned to be in the choir, but they were like, his voice, like he can't sing. That's what they literally said. Because with elementary, it's like.
Oh yeah,
and I couldn't do that. Voice. And I was like, can I sing? I was basically like, can I sing it down the octave? And they're like, no, you need to sing it up here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't. It's too high. And I'm like, I can't sing that at 8 a.m. That's a lot. But it was a blessing in disguise. I got to do the theater class, and it was just like a beginner's theater class. So I wasn't in the advanced yet, but I took the class, and we were kind of like, doing certain scenes and learning about theater. And we kind of read this play that was like based off of Edgar Allan Poe, but it was like a comedic version, it was like a retelling of his life, but
like
in
a satire way. Almost.
Yeah, satire. Thank you, that was the word. And so we read the script, and once we were done, she was like, "Okay," she was gonna assign us which roles that we were gonna have, but the Edgar Allan Poe part, because it was his show, like he was the lead basically, and she was like, "Does anyone think they can handle this many lines?" I think it was like, and then it was kind of quiet, and then I raised my hand, and she was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, and I did it. And when I did the play, it was like really, really fun, and I really loved it. I only got to do it for like a semester, but I just remember like really, really loving it, and really loving how people reacted to me, and they're like, wow, like he's actually kind of good at this. And so when it came to the next year, I was like, all right, I'm going to audition for the theater program, and I got in advanced theater. And when I tell you I was like the lead in like literally every play, I didn't have that many options. I'm just gonna be honest, because again, it was middle school, but
so around Garland, right?
Yeah. Well, this was around this time I had already moved to Rowlett. So this was at Shrady Middle School.
Right.
Like I literally could walk there. And so that was 8th grade, and in the spring musical, I remember I was like learning with the choir directors, and they're like, oh, you're a bass, which I didn't know that at the time. Which I was starting to learn about music, and they were kind of teaching me a few things and giving me certain pointers, and so I just really started to do a deep dive of my favorite singers, and like learning how they sing and listening to all their live performances and like the way that they approach songs, and like I was already doing that.
How would you learn? Like just play their music, or like were there like kind of tutorials on? Because the University of YouTube is brilliant.
Yes,
I wish I had that when I was younger. But yeah, you can kind of like learn anything now.
So I mean, like it was a bit of everything. So like sometimes like I would like there might be like favorite like vocal coaches that I might follow that like would dissect a singer's vocals, like their greatest hits or whatever. Or I would look at compilations of like their best live performances, or seeing people react to their voices and being like, oh, she has this type of thing, or like it sounds kind of like this, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And I would also again look at their behind the scenes of like, oh, I really love the music video. I want to see how this was shot. Yeah. Oh, I really love the vocals. I want to see them behind the scenes in the studio. I want to see like them just singing. I want to see like their technique, how they're approaching the song, what their what their body language is doing, what they're doing with their face. Like I was studying them.
Right.
My main inspirations, Top of the Dome, like my main 4 that I've studied to the T is Beyonce, Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey, and Brandy. Like those 4. I mean, actually, her Brandy Cinderella was like one of the first like musicals I ever saw in music class.
Yeah.
That was also my first crush too. Not Brandy. The Filipino Prince. I never remember his name. It's like Pablo something. But that was like one of my first crushes. I didn't know that at the time, but as a 4-year-old kid, I was like, oh, I really love his voice. I did, but he's also so attractive. But I studied those 4, but I really, really studied them in middle school as I was learning about my voice, and I was like, okay, can I replicate that run? Can I sing that kind of high note? Oh, I think I can sing it down the octave. Maybe I can sing it in that octave. Okay, maybe I can sing it in the octave above. Like I was just learning, figuring out what my range was, and figuring out how to sing through them. But again, it was also Whitney Houston. It was also Paramore. It was Haley Williams. It was also Barbra Streisand. It was also getting into musical theater, like really figuring out some of my favorite musical theater voices.
Yeah, because musical theater is they emote a lot.
Yeah, like Audrey McDonald, Lillias White, Patti LuPone. Like I was just learning about so many different voices and really just soaking it in as a sponge, And
so, what do you think kind of like made you want to even delve into like that kind of thing so hard? Because not for nothing, like for a typical middle schooler, I grew up playing soccer, so like we were all into sports, but something had to have made you kind of like really want to like learn, like, okay, yeah, like I want to learn about how they sing and all the techniques and all that
just
kind of
always
stuff.
passionate about it. Like I wish I could give you a reason because I'm like
Was there something that kind of like sort of sparked it? You know what I mean?
Not really. Like I was just always obsessed with music, even as a kid.
Yeah.
Like I always soaked it in as a sponge. Like even when I got my first like iPod, my siblings were like, "Stop getting like old songs," because I was just like really really diving into music and like, oh shit, the mic go out.
For some reason, this thing
test
turned off on this
test. Oh,
there we go. I think we're back.
Okay. But I mean, I was like really discovering music for the first time. Like I was a kid because I would just listen to what my siblings listened to, but then I would like go into deep dives, and they're like, why did you download this random song from the 70s? And I'm like, because I love it. I'm getting into Diana Ross. I'm getting into Stevie Wonder for the first time. I'm not just listening to what was on the radio. I'm like actually.
Why do you like Stevie Wonder? Jeez.
I mean,
what kind of question is this?
You know what I mean? But they're just like, why are you just randomly downloading their music? And I'm like, because I just did a deep dive. I really love the music. I just saw it on. I just watched their performances on YouTube or something, or saw like one of their performances. But yeah, I mean, like I have so many definitive albums that I'm like, ugh. Like I had a director friend because he was talking about music. And I was just saying like, oh yeah, I love music. Like I discover like new music every day. Like I truly do. And he's like, do you have any recommendations? And I was like, I listen to everything every day. So I gave him a list of like what some of my favorite like definitive albums for me when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find it really quick. Oh my god. Come on. This was a few weeks ago, so it's no. But we're like right there. I know we are. This is the director, so he does post quite a bit. There it is. Okay, where was my? Come on. Okay. So you asked for what my favorites were. So these were my like definitive albums. Not all of them, but at least most of them when I was growing up. So I remember my first Beyonce album that I really like dove into was 4. That's one of my all-time favorite albums. The vocal arrangements on that, like the bridges, like I was like obsessed with that album. Getting into Diana Ross, like Surrender is just like I love every song on that album straight through. Like the way that she would like talk and then start singing and all the harmonies, I was like sucked it in like a sponge.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey, Butterfly, like I mean, like beyond just the vocals, it was just the lyricism too. Like she really got like I mean, all of her albums are like this, but I just remember that was my first experience of like really listening to her deep cuts and like her talking about her traumatic childhood and her background being biracial like in the 60s or 70s I mean and like just and just her wordplay, like she'll be just saying random words that I'm like I only know because Mariah Carey says them. I'm like I've never said fervid before or vivid until she said it, and I'm like but now I'm just like, oh, now I use these words.
Yeah.
Janet Jackson, Velvet Rope. That is my all-time favorite album. I love that album to the core, and I remember watching her Velvet Rope tour, which was like circus theme, and watching that like that DVD, that bootleg on YouTube, and watching like the performances of that and the choreography and the visuals and like the choreography, I was just like, I was in awe. I was like, the amount of excellence that I'm like, oh my god. Um, Acoustic Soul, India.Arie, Aphrodisiac, Aphrodisiac by Brandy. That's one of my all-time favorite albums. I love the Red album by Aaliyah, the self-titled. One of my favorite bands, I'll always say, are Coldplay, Paramore, and Mint Condition. My favorite album from them, from Coldplay, is A Rush of Blood. For Paramore, well, I'd say my favorite Paramore album is After Laughter, but I think growing up it was Brand New Eyes. Mint Condition, From the Mint Factory. Whoa, like the vocals, the arrangements. Like I just loved everything about that album. Like I feel like everything when I'm trying to learn how to harmonize in thinking about like the different types of like I just love the live instrumentation. Like I love how live it sounds.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like a live album in condition. And I just remember listening to that album and it was just like I'm just in love with all of these arrangements. Just arrangements. I was like, oh, like I'm very big on that. Listen Without Prejudice, George Michael. That's one of my
shit.
I love that album so much.
Wow.
There's an Australian singer named Sam Sparrow, which
is
his self-titled album I really loved. I don't know. Do you know the song like Black and Gold, Black and Gold, Black and Gold? That was like big, like 08, I think. But he had a self-titled album around that time that I really, really loved. And that was like one of the first albums that I was like, oh, I can sing along to this. Like I'm not singing down the octave or up the octave. I'm like, this is in my range.
Right.
And I just remember singing along to that album so much. The self-titled of Walk the Moon, like that's one of my, I'll never forget listening to Anna's Son for the first time. My sister showed me the song and I was like, this is like, oh, I love this. It was like just like this indie rock band that I loved so much.
Walk the Moon?
Yeah. I mean, most people know the Shut Up and Dance With Me. That was their
okay.
That was on their second album. But I knew them before with their self-titled with Anna's Son, and I was like, oh, this is like, I love this song. One of my favorite rappers of all time, Missy Elliott. Like like the visuals, like the musicianship. Like I just. She is such.
I mean, come on. She has a lyric that she's saying backwards.
Yeah, but also it's like she's such a musician. Like a lot of people don't realize that. Like she was in an R&B group before she made it big. And
really,
yeah, it didn't like really pop off, but she started out in an R&B group and would write R&B songs for other artists. She's written for obviously Aaliyah, Monica, Brandy, Fantasia, Jasmine Sullivan. Like she's written a lot of really dope R&B records. On top of being one of the illest rappers of all time.
Yeah.
She's a true musician. But my favorite album from her is Under Construction. But the first rap album that I got into was actually Black Rain by Queen Latifah. So when I was a kid, my brother, like he would listen to Kanye West, he would listen to Tyler the Creator, Outkast, Tribe Called Quest. But the first like album that I got into was Queen Latifah, and I remember hearing like UNITY for the first time, and I was like,
UNITY.
I was like, whoa, what is this?
That's a unity.
Like, and I immediately like listened to the whole album, and I was like, oh my god, this is music.
That's my childhood.
Like I was, but that was the first rap album that I got into because I would just listen to what my brother listened to. Obviously,
it's a good brother.
Who has just got her debut album. Like, oh, I again, it's the arrangements. It's the arrangement. You gonna hear me say that so many times. The arrangements that she came up with, because she was like a poet first, before she started like really singing melodically to her poems and songs. But I just loved how she would like mask the poetry with her vocals and just and with the jazz and the live band. Like I loved it. Of course, Alicia Keys. But my favorite album from her is like As I Am. What was it? One of my favorite Stevie Wonder records of all time is Talking Book. That's the one that has like Superstition and You and I. But my favorite record on that one is I Believe When I Fall in Love. It's just so beautiful. I was a really big Pink fan when I was in middle school. I just really, really loved her music. But I fell in love with her even more watching her behind the music. and seeing like her story and seeing like the story behind the songs of like, you know, her fully getting into songwriting and figuring out what type of performer she wanted to be and the vocalist that she is. And I remember like really listening to Funhouse and like just seeing so much of her personality between the humor and the pain and the vulnerability. I was just like, wow, like this is, I really, really love Pink.
Yeah.
And then again, this is not all the definitive albums, but the last one I'm going to name is Emergency on Planet Earth by Jamiroquai. Hey, I love that band so much.
Wow.
I love that band so much. I would have never
pegged you for that one.
Oh, I love that band so much. I think it's talking again about VH1 with the top 100 songs of the 90s. I remember hearing Virtual Insanity, and I was like, what is this? This is amazing. That's not even on that album. I think it's on the second album.
I wish I could play it right now, but we're getting flagged too much on YouTube.
But the first, but their debut, I think most of the songs that I love are usually on that album. What is that one song? Blow My Mind. Oh, I love that song so much. The jazz influence, like mixing in with like the disco and the funk, and it's just, I love it. I love it so much. But yeah, those are like the list that I gave to my director friend. And those are pretty much all like the definitive albums that I really, really loved growing up as a kid. I can't, I mean, it would take probably another hour for me to say them all, but those are basically like the gist. Because I was just, again, in middle school, I was really soaking in everything as I could. So once I got into high school, I was like, that's when I did band, theater, and choir. I did it all.
So what's interesting and kind of hearing all that is that you're really interested in the arrangements.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because most people, I think, maybe will like fixate on the lyrics, a beat. But you're more about like this whole like.
I do think that is important.
I tend to kind of delve deep into the interpretations of things, but like, it seems that you're more into like the entire production.
Yeah,
like the whole picture, not just the lyrics, not just the beat.
Yeah, I mean, because like when I think about like
the performance, it's the arrangement, it's all this.
Yeah, like when it goes back to like those four that I've studied, like the Beyonces, the
Janet Jackson, yeah,
the Mariah Carey's, the Brandy's. It's like
she's a Jackson. I mean,
they're like it's bigger than the lyrics. It's bigger than the choreography. It's bigger.
It's an experience.
It's an experience, and I
think
that's
the one thing that's the one thing that's really unique about you that I don't see from. Well, the next artist too is also like that, Roman the Writer.
Yeah,
but like you're rare in this, at least in the DFW scene where you perform. Like it's most people they have great lyrics. They can play the guitar really well, or they can sing beautifully, whatever, with a backtrack. But yours is like it's a whole show. It's a whole experience.
I try to. I mean, I really do because it's just like that. That's just what I think about.
That's why we have to invest in like a linoleum like square so you can do your thing out here and not break your ankles.
But lyrics are important because like even as I've gotten into writing, it's like sometimes I trick myself where I'm like, oh, I think I can say this better, or I could say this more creatively. But sometimes I have to stop myself because I'm like, that's not how I listen to music. Like when I listen to music, the first thing I listen to is the melody and the arrangement. And if I don't like either, I'm probably gonna skip through it.
Yeah.
And sometimes some people may get offended with that because they're like, well, did you hear that metaphor that she was talking about? Did you hear that double entendre? And I'm like, listen, if I don't like the melody, it's one ear out the other. Because I love a good singer-songwriter. I really do. Like, like Joni Mitchell is like amazing.
I was going to ask you about Joni Mitchell.
But again, it's like, it's her arrangements. It's not just the lyricism. It's like the voice and the way that she would sing certain songs and like just how she used her voice as an instrument. Like it wasn't just like sing a song and it was like you're experiencing these words through my voice and like whatever. It was just
Bob Dylan was kind of similar though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you consider like a singer,
right? But it's like there's
the way that he used his voice,
right?
It worked.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I it always goes back to that for me. When I get into my music, it's like I focus on the feeling first. Like I'll listen to a beat and I'm like, all right, how does this make me feel? And I'll just kind of play it on a loop and figure out like what arrangements that I can come up with it. And sometimes I get it right away. Other times like I have to kind of sit with it. But I always get the melody first. It's usually the first thing that I get because it's like that's what again, it's like if I don't think there's a melody there, I'm not going to go with it.
Right.
But if I can find a melody where I'm like, oh, I could sing along to this, or I like this melody, let me run with it and figure out where it goes. But yeah.
So I guess I'd be curious to ask also, in hearing all this, maybe it sounds kind of weird, but like, what's your goal with your music? So like, there's something in you. It's very obvious. There's something in you that has to come out. that
has changed within you.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to talk about like you're talking about your sexuality coming out, that kind of thing. And again,
I know it's a surprise, y'all.
With these tiny talks, feel free to be like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Next question, shut up, whatever.
No,
but like, but aside from all that, is that it's pretty obvious that there's something in you that has to come out, and you pay attention to all the greats, and like you can recognize certain patterns and this and that, and you know, try to like evoke certain kind of emotions from people, this kind of thing. So like, where do you think that kind of comes from, that you want to bring that out of people? Because a lot of people, they don't want to do that. They want to just leave me alone. And
I think I mean it's definitely the Virgo, where it's like, again, like I would just obsess over certain things because I loved it and I really wanted to soak it in as much as possible. Like I would just, again, like that, I just did that for fun. I still do that. Like if I really love an album, I'll be like, okay, I want to hear them talk about this album. I want to hear like what their approach was to this song. What was the inspiration? Like I want to soak it in as much as possible and see if one day I can recreate that. And I remember once I got into high school doing band, theater, and choir, like I loved it. You know, for the most part, I really did. But I did feel like I wasn't being fully myself because I was just doing what people wanted me to do, or what the vision they had for me of like, you could be this, you could be that. And a part of me agreed to a certain degree, but I just remember, I hate to say this, but I was one of the few people that was grateful for COVID because that was my senior year. And I just remember senior year, like I was kind of outgrowing a lot of my teachers' ambitions for myself. And it was just a lot of them being like, I'm disappointed in you, or you're doing too much. And I just didn't really know how to respond to it.
Doing too much?
Yeah, of just expressing myself, you know? And it wasn't, at first it was like, either I'm pissing off my parents, but now it was like, I'm also kind of pissing them off as well. And they're like, why are you doing this? This isn't you. And I'm like, but I was like, but this is me. This is how I choose.
It's coming out.
This is, yeah. So that was the first semester. And going into the second semester, we went on a spring break trip and we went to New York, and literally that's when everything started to shut down. So like literally, if we would have like moved it a week, we would have been stuck in New York technically. But when I came back, like everything was shut down. Like I didn't get to have a prom. I didn't get to, there wasn't a senior ditch day. Like I didn't have any of that. But I'm grateful because I was able to really look at my life at that point and just be like, okay, I've achieved all these things. I did really well in school, music-wise, performing-wise. I've done all these musicals, performances, whatever. And I don't really, I still don't feel satisfied. I also don't feel like I have the friendships that I made, that I wanted to make. And I was really like, all right, so I think there's certain things about me that I still don't like, but how can I change that? Not to like change who you are because you hate yourself. It's like, if you think there's a better version of you, then be that. And I remember going to the first Love Mic. It was at Chocolate Secrets originally.
Hey.
And Jenna wasn't even there that day. I think she was on vacation because it was Parsa and Figaro that were hosting.
Okay.
And I had sung 2 songs, and I felt really good. I felt like really like, wow, like this feels really nice. People responded really well to it.
It was for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just remember going like, okay, like I could do this again. So I just started going every week and just started to really like figure out like, okay, well, what are some of my favorite songs? Can I sing those songs? Does this match my vibe? Does this match what I want to do? And I just kind of ran with it. Because I would see people, like you said, like that would just probably sing the same songs or just sing with their guitar. And some of it was cool, but
it's their niche,
Yeah. But other times it would just be like, let me just sing the same song over and over again. Which I literally have a whole playlist of songs that I want to cover, whether it be at the Freeman or at the Love Mic. But I also have, but mentally, I also have like a playlist of songs that I know I'm not going to sing because everybody sings it. You know, you will not catch me singing "Best Part" by her. Like everybody sings that song. I'm not going to sing "If I Ain't Got You" by Alicia Keys. Technically, I have sung that.
Come on!
But I sung a remix to it, so it was like up tempo, so it was different. You're not going to hear me sing Tennessee Whiskey. Everybody sings that song. Like, oh, you can sing.
What about John Mayer? Little John Mayer? No.
You're not going to catch me singing Gravity. Everybody sings that song. Everybody sings that song. I'm like, I can't. If I can't make it my own, like, what is the point of singing it? And so then I would really try to sing like deep cuts. And being like, okay, I can sing Mariah Carey, but like, let me not sing "We Belong Together." Why don't I sing "Dream Lover"?
Look up John Mayer's Tracing.
Yeah.
Talk about a deep cut.
Okay.
Look up that one. You might like that one.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know. Let's sing "Neon" by John Mayer. Like,
no, that's not a deep cut. Tracing is deep.
Well,
deep.
I mean,
like, it's not like
not everybody knows "Neon." But
everyone knows "Neon." That was everywhere. Trust me.
But
everyone knows.
But that's not like that's not the first song you think of. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, when you get to more popular
artists, though, for real, Tracing.
I probably would. I like John Mayer. My favorite John Mayer song right now is "Still Feel Like Your Man." I really love I love the chords on that, and the bridge. But yeah, it was just like literally week after week, I would just try to sing something different and just really try to express myself. And slowly, I started to trickle back into like, I remember listening to this song, and it makes me think of my brother. Maybe I can sing that. Maybe I can relate to it too. And then I, would bring my sisters too, and I'd be like, hey, I remember you used to love Beyonce. I'm going to sing this Beyonce song in tribute of you. And then slowly, and then eventually I went to the entertainment showcase, the open mic that Liz started. Originally it was at the Balcony Club that she'd gone to, hosted for 10 years. And I was just like, wow, like this is a live band. Okay, let me make a playlist. What are some songs that give a live band feel that I can perform there?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I can sing Mick Condition here. I can sing Layla Hathaway here. I can sing Marvin Gaye here.
Yeah.
So it was doing that, and then eventually it was like, okay, October's hitting. Maybe I could do some fun stuff for Halloween. I can dress up, but I could also have a theme and like sing these 3 songs where I'm like, I can sing 2 here and then sing this at the entertainment showcase, and it was just a lot of that. And I remember starting last year, I started to feel a little burnt out, where sometimes it was like I have a whole playlist of these songs and I'm scrolling through and I'm like I know I can sing it, but I'm like I don't feel it yet. Yeah. It doesn't feel right anymore. It feels like I need to sing something different. So I'm like, maybe I need to find a new song. Maybe I need to sing a different arrangement. Or I'm like, I don't want to just keep singing the same things over again. Yeah. And so what technically came first last year was poetry. I told myself mentally, I was like, I want to start songwriting again, even though I did it in 7th grade and pushed it away. But I'm like, I think I'm ready now. I think I feel like I've lived enough, and I feel like enough people have like pushed me, and they're like, you're an artist, and I'm like, not really. And they're like, just come over, I'll write with you. But yeah, I this was kind of an accident. So it was Black History Month last year, and my aunt, she's I'm surprised I haven't talked about my aunt yet. My aunt is my person. She is my number one. She's also a singer, and really taught me a lot about music, and is my biggest supporter. But she had sent me this clip of this kind of skit that she was doing for church for Black History Month, and she was like, I encourage you to write something, and we can act that for you. And so at first I was just kind of just putting together like some of my favorite speeches, from famous Black people or Black, innovators and politicians over the years. And slowly I started to like write some of my words and some of the things that I was feeling. And I was like, oh, this is for me. And that was my, my Black History Month poem. And I had showed it.
That was just last year, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I started that, and then I had written a few poems throughout that year. And
by the way, that's featured on the LP Productions, I believe, Instagram right now, and probably yours also.
Yeah, I've done it a few times. People love it. So I had done a few poems like throughout that year, maybe like 3, 4, and I was like, okay, this feels really good. Like people really love what I'm talking about. And then I think it was around November. I just did the Love Mic that Monday, and then the next day Roman hit me up, He was like, "Hey, do you have any originals?" I was like, "No, I just have poetry, but I hope to get into songwriting soon." He was like, "Would you mind if I wrote a song for you?" Because what I didn't know, he had reached out to a few couple artists and singers and was like, "I would love to write for you," because
Really?
he was really trying to get his musician back, which I didn't know. Because seeing him, I just thought he was just a rapper. Maybe he has a producer, but I was like, no, he produces those beats. I told him, I was like, you're getting in your Missy Elliott bag. He's not just producing for him, like he's again making arrangements and making songs for other people. And so when he sent that to me, I was like, sure. What he didn't know is that like I had a previous experience where someone reached out and was like, would you want to work together? We had scheduled a time. We had to reschedule, miscommunication, and nothing kind of came of it. And I see this person frequently where they're like, we're going to send you stuff. We're going to send you stuff. Nothing. Mm-hmm. We're going to set up a time. We had to change studios. We're going to set up a time. Nothing.
Yeah.
And it's no worries. It's fine. Like, people are busy. People have things. Like, it's not the end of the world. But I just thought it was going to be another runaround situation. But when I tell you, like, he maybe sent me that DM around 12 p.m. Like, around 7 or 8 later that day, he sent me like a rough draft of what he was working on.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, really? Okay. I was like, and it was crazy. And it was such a crazy dance song. We still need to record it.
Yeah.
But he sent me like the first third of it. And I was like, okay, let me see if I can write to this. So then I wrote a second verse, and I wrote the chorus and then wrote into the second verse. And he liked it. And he was like, oh, that's great. Okay. Let me put it on there. And I was like, okay. I'm like, this is kind of going easier than I thought. So then I finally hit up Rebel Floor, one of the first people I met at Chocolate Secrets, at where A Love Mike was at originally. She was one of the first people that I met, one of the first people I vibed and connected with, and she was my biggest supporter. That was like, you're an artist, right? I was like, am I? I was like, I just sing covers. Like, I don't really.
I met her last week at the Love Mike.
Yeah, and sometimes I would like give her ideas, or like she would show me stuff, and I was like, oh, you should try this or do that. And she's like, it's like, you're an artist, like you have ideas. And I was like, do I? so we met up in December, and she was like what's been going on in your life? What do you want to talk about? And I was talking about I don't know if you're familiar with the show Heated Rivalry, but I was it's basically it's about heated rivals. They're like, in hockey, who are in rival teams, but they end up in like a situationship, sexual relationship.
Okay.
And but it's like it doesn't turn into like a full-fledged relationship until like 7 years down the line. So it's like literally year after year, it's like, okay, we can only meet at these certain times of the year.
Like the
so kind of. It's like, I mean, it's like a will they or won't they, but it's like they've been hooking up for several years.
Right, yeah.
But finally, in the year 6 or 7, they're like, I think I love you. Mm-hmm. They're ready to admit it to each other.
Right.
And I'm thinking like, that's just so weird. That's such a long time for me. I'm like, I'm not gonna wait 7 years. Like, I'm very much gay, but I skipped the DL phase, which the DL phase is like, dating someone that's like super closeted and like who's afraid to come out for whatever reason, and you're just kind of like like licking up in the shadows. And I was like, I didn't really have that phase. Like, I had a boyfriend in high school, but I didn't. I'm very much like myself. Mm-hmm. And so in my mind, I'm just like, I don't know if I can wait 7 years for somebody to like tell me how they feel about me. So we were talking about that, and I was also talking about like a situationship that I was in. We were occasionally hooking up, but like sometimes they would get mad if I didn't like text them for long periods of time. And I'm like, I have to work. I have things that I'm doing. It's like, I'm not a hip boy. I'm not thinking, I'm not a boy, so I'm not thinking about you like that all the time. Like, so, she was like, okay, so who are you listening to right now? And I was like, oh, I really like Steve Lacy. I really like the arrangements he comes up with. I really like the chords. She was like, okay, let's find like a Steve Lacy type beat. What I didn't know is that a lot of producers will post a lot of their beats like on social media, YouTube, or BeatStars, or wherever.
Right.
And so we just found one on YouTube, and I was like, okay. And I really like the chords, and I immediately started humming along. I was like, and like she was like, okay, there's something there. And then I think she came up with that line like, but I'm a hip boy, yeah. I'm no boy. So I was like, oh, I like that. Yeah. So we just kind of traded off. Like it's like she'd say a line and I'd say a line, or I would sing a melody and she would put words to it, or like vice versa. We were just kind of bouncing off of each other. And I was like, wow, like this is going really well. So that was December. And then in January, well, through that, she showed me like how you can find beats and how you can connect with people. Mm-hmm. She showed me some of the people that she was working with. And through that, I was just like, okay, let me, like, I want to have options. I want to, like, again, I was like, I went back into my Virgo mode, and I was like, I'm going to study this. I'm going to figure out who can I work with, who can I sing demos for, who can I mix with, like, and I've worked with a few different producers now, a few different engineers now, but also like on BeatStars, I'm like, all right, like let me figure out like what beats I like, who can I connect with, and so it was just kind of like a ripple effect. So in January, I found a different beat, and I was really, really enamored with. It had like kind of like an R&B sound to it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And it was very acoustic. It made me think of India.Arie and Jill Scott, and I was like, oh, this is nice. And I kind of wrote a song about being ghosted. And it was weird because I was like, I wasn't even thinking about this particular ex of mine, but that song, it just made me think of that time, because it's been over like 2.5 years now, but that song just made me think of him, and I was like, wow. And then the first line I had was, I wish you well, but even so, I wish for me to be better. And I was like, oh, that was like, I kind of like that line. Yeah. And then I came with the chorus, so tired of these growing pains. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I like this. And then I finished it. It almost felt like a poem, where I was like, oh, I'm just going to keep writing until I feel like I'm finished with it. Right. And then I had the thought, I was like, oh, I should like pull a SZA, because songs, she'll have like, voice notes from her grandma, or like, or pastor or something in her songs. And I was like, oh, let me find like a voicemail from my aunt, which I'm going to save that for a different song. Nice. Stay tuned. Nice. But I found a funny one with my brother on it, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And
I'm not sure why my mixer is doing this. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Test. Okay.
Yeah, I just freaking changed out the batteries yesterday too. I don't know why.
I had this idea to do a voicemail with my brother, Nicholas. I love you. He actually moved away. It's been almost 2 years at this point. He moved to Colorado with his girlfriend. She's a teacher. She it's like she got the job, let's say like in June, and then immediately they're like, you need to come next month and start your trading. And we're like, this is a lot. But he's doing well. But I wanted to. I thought it was nice to kind of put the voicemail there, because I wanted to really show him like how much I love him and how much I miss him, and that like I'm thinking about him even if we don't get to talk every day, because just like me, like he's also very busy with his job and with all the things that he's pursuing. And so it was that, and then we get to February. And that's where and that's where we get to Tiny Stage, where we did the Hit Boy remix with Roman. So this is slightly funny, because I didn't when we recorded Hit Boy, I hadn't bought the beat yet, and I was trying to contact the producer, and it was hard for me to contact him for a minute, so I was like, I might have to just like find a different beat, because I'm not trying to get in trouble now. Which, like, I know I'm still new, but it's like, I still want to be, cautious about these things. So I found this other beat that I immediately bought, and I showed it to Roman, and I was like, oh, like, I want to do a remix to this. Which I thought, like, maybe that could be the original, but then I ended up contacting the producer, and it all worked out. But with the remix, I was like, oh, I could still use this as a remix, because I just kind of, like, sung the first verse, but kind of transposed it in my head. Just figuring like, okay, how do I? Oh, that's it. Oh, I can kind of sing it to this beat, and I really loved it, because it made me think of all the times that I was at the entertainment showcase with Liz and with Lenny, and I'm just showing them all these different songs, and they're just like, say, man, you like, here's my number. You need to send me the song that you're doing because you're trying to do this different song every week. And I was like, I got you. Which he, Lenny's amazing. Like he's a great musician, but like I was keeping him on his toes because most people just sang the same songs every week.
Yeah.
But I always came with a new song every week, a new jam, a new this, whatever. And it just made me think. I'm like, oh, this is such a live band sound. It makes me think I want to dedicate this to them. And so I showed it to Roman, and he was like, okay, like, do you want me to write you a rap verse, or you want me to rap on it? And I was like, well, I mean, you can rap on it if you want to. And he was like, yeah, I want to hop on this.
Oh yeah.
And so like we sat there, like I just played it on a loop, and I think 20 minutes later he came up with his verse, and I was like, oh my god! And so we immediately, like the next week, we recorded it. And it was just like it was just such magic, and I was just like, oh my god, this just feels so awesome, because I knew for sure I wanted to like include him, because even though we haven't recorded the song that he's written for me yet, I still wanted for my first project. I really wanted to represent him because like he was the first person that like really in a sort of way ushered me into it,
Yeah.
Because it's like if I hadn't gotten that demo from him back in November, like I don't think I would have started so quickly. But because it worked out so well, it was like, all right, well, let me hit up my friend Rebel. Maybe I can actually do this. And so it's just been such a domino effect of just me like really writing for real. I've started in December, and I want to say I have like at least 30.
Whoa!
Like,
nice.
I've just been writing nonstop.
Hell yeah.
And so I was like, okay, like this feels really good, because I told myself, I was like, regardless, I was like, I'm gonna make an EP. I want to release 5 or 6 songs. I don't care how long it takes.
Yeah.
And again, I'm like, oh shit, 30 songs. I'm like, okay. I was like, all right, I can do something with this. So so once I did the song with Roman, I was like, okay, I think I want to do like a tringle, because like going back to my favorite artists, like I used to love, like the single EPs, right, where they would have the main song, the edit, the extended version, the DJ remix, the hip hop remix with the rapper.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I could do that. And I know some people are like,
that's called a tringle.
Yeah,
right.
And they're like,
I didn't know that.
They're like, I've never heard of tringle before. I was like, I'm not the first person to say that. I wish I could make that. I wish I could take credit, but no, I'm not the first person to do that. But I was like, I can have my own like little single EP.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is cool. So I was really focusing on that, getting that released. I was hoping for March, but I was like, we definitely gonna do it in April. My next release, I want to try to release something in like June, July. I will be performing those 2 songs tonight. I actually just written a 3rd song that I might add to it, but if I record it in time, I'll put it on there. If not, I'll save it for something else, I guess. And then I have this other song that I want to release in October, because I love Halloween. I love to dress up, and I was just writing like just a regular Halloween song, but as I was writing it, I was like, oh, it makes me think of a particular character, which I'm not gonna say, but it's from a famous movie, and I was like, oh, it was one of my favorite thrillers. And I was like, it kind of, I feel like I'm singing as if I'm the lead character. I'm like, I guess I kind of am. And so I was like, okay. I had like my producer, his name is Dylan something. It's if you look at his Instagram, it's Cloud Studios. He had helped me mix Hit Boy and Growing Pains, and he had showed me this beat. He was like, oh, I don't really like it. It's like, yeah, it's fine. And I was like, oh, I love it. I'm like, you could add like this, that into it. And he was like, okay. So we tested some things out, and he was like, okay, not bad. He was like, I was like, you can have it if you want. Like you clearly hear something I don't. So then I sent it to another producer friend of mine who's in a band, and I was like, do you think you can help me like make? Because I wanted to do like more live arrangements to it. And he was like, sure. Like I kind of like the beat. I was like, I think you could probably add this to it. I was like, yeah, exactly. So I'm working on that now. So I'm hoping that I could release that in October. And then in the meantime, I'm just kind of writing and recording songs in between. I really only recorded like 6 songs, but I'm hoping like once I record all the songs that I've written so far, like I could maybe release like another EP and then definitely like a full length project of my own.
Yeah.
I would like to say album, but I did have another producer friend of mine. They were like, you might want to say mixtape. You're still new to this. And I was like, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have that, that kind of money to make a full budget and music videos and stuff. I'm trying. Slowly we're getting there. Yeah, I've always wanted to be an artist. Like I've always said that. Like I never had a plan B. Like even I don't know if you ever like watched Glee, but there's a character named like Rachel Berry that was like, I'm gonna be a star.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like that. I know that's a weird comparison because like Rachel Berry is kind of like the annoying kind of, in the show, and just very like cutthroat, and like I will do anything what it takes to get a solo. I wasn't like that, but I was very much like, I'm the star. Like I'm gonna be a star. I'm gonna be a big deal one day. And I had to kind of eat a bit of a humble slice of pie. And they're like, you're not that talented. You're not that special. Like you got to get in line. Wait your turn, Effie. But again, it hasn't really changed. It's just it took me a minute to really figure out what my sound was, because I think if I would have started writing a few years before, I think I would have just been like, is this okay? Is this all right? Like I didn't really feel that confident in it. But now I'm coming into those sessions like, I know what I want. Like I want it to sound like this. I have these are my references. I want this bridge to go this direction. I want it to sound like this. Like I'm not, technically a producer, but it's like I'm really big on arrangements where I'm like, I could really hear something and I'm like, oh, I like this beat, but could you do this with it, or could you take it more in this direction?
So are you trying to get into that kind of realm too, like a little bit of sound engineering? Because like with all these interviews, I noticed that like you kind of have to be your own kind of like everything.
You do.
So
yeah.
Especially since you have a certain idea and like an ear for this kind of thing. Do you want to kind of get into like also sound engineering where you don't have to rely on somebody else?
I would like to eventually, but also at the same time, like it is nice to like that. I feel like I'm networking for the first time. I've said that a few times to people before, but like, yeah, I'm like I've gone to open mics for like the past 4 years, right? And I've met all these different producers, songwriters, musicians, whatever, but I've never actually like been doing sessions with them or like worked with them. And now I'm like doing it for the first time, being like, okay, I've always wanted to work with him. I've always wanted to sing with him. I've always wanted to produce with him. Like I'm doing that for the first time, and I would like to eventually, but I know that like takes a long time.
You don't have to. Yeah, no.
I mean, it's
also kind of surprising to hear that this has only started like barely a year ago.
Yeah.
Because when I first saw you at the Love Mic at the Sundown, I was like, here's a star. I was like, holy crap! And like whenever you came out, I was like, all right, get the cameras ready. I was like, and I had to have it ready for like not being still, because you move around a lot. So I'm like, you and Keyshawn, whenever you're on stage, I'm like, all right, here we go. I got to get the movie cam ready.
Yeah.
But.
And people, it's a lot of times, like, because I would sing the deep cuts, and people would be like, "Is that yours? Is that yours?" And I was like,
"They were all yours."
I was like, "No, it's just a deep cut from Janet. It's a deep cut from Brandon."
And then you forget to bring out your saxophone and start doing like this choreography. Like,
yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Which, like, I can't stress this enough. It's still a beginner horn. I still have not bought a professional one.
Yeah, we don't know that shit.
I hope
that's all right.
I hope to do that. I really want to buy a professional horn soon, but it's like. Everything costs money. Okay, everything's expensive. It's a lot.
I would love to see you and Jordan Harris do something together.
But I'm pulling from different. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like going to these open mics, like I've pulled from different things because I never wanted to pigeonhole myself. Like I'm very
and freaking shout out to your courage for that too, because not for nothing, man. Like I'm dabbling. People are gassing me up. Oh yeah, you should do things. You should do whatever.
Like, just give it a try. At least try.
And here at the Tiny State, it's my home, so like I'm comfortable here. But I've tried a couple of things at the Love Mic, and that's kind of my home too. I mean, I'm there every freaking week, but like, still, that's a nerve-wracking stage.
Yeah.
And hearing how you were just kind of like discovering yourself at the Freeman. I mean, crap, I would shake like a motherfucker going to the Freeman doing anything. You know what I mean? These are kind of like big stages to kind of say, hey, fuck it, let's just see what's up.
Yeah, I mean, and I still get nervous. People don't believe me when I say that. I still do get nervous, but it's just like as the Virgo, I practice my performance so many times, like whether I'm in the car singing or I'm like, late at night, like, prancing around my room and just figuring out like how I want to present myself. It's like there's like a calmness that comes over that's like it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Right.
And I think what also helped me was recording too. Was I consistently recorded myself because I would always like even in high school when I was really discovering my voice and taking singing lessons and auditioning for things, I would like be in the garage just like nah, nah, like just singing, and my parents would be like, "What are you doing?" And they're getting complaints, being like, this person has a beautiful voice, but why are they singing at like 10 o'clock at night?" And so but I didn't always record myself because I was so self-conscious. Mm-hmm. But going to those mics, I would just record myself every single performance, every time, and I would look back and I'll be like, okay, and maybe I would beat myself up, being like, oh, that sounded awful, that sounded horrible. But then I would look at the recording and I'm like, oh, it's not that bad, or like, okay, maybe I can do it better. But for the most part, I was like, oh, I actually really like this. So then I would post it, and people would be very perceptive, and sometimes every now and then I might get like a hate comment, but it was like, what? I believe in myself so much that I'm willing to defend it. Yeah. I really love what I do, and yeah, I mean, I'm really like it just feels like it's all of those years have really led up to this moment where I'm like I'm training my ear, where it's like even as I'm recording, where I'm like, oh, I can do that better, or I'm trying to mix something and I'm like, oh, I think this needs to be higher, or this needs to be lower, or maybe add some reverb there. I don't know all the terminologies, but it's like I definitely am training my ear in that department, and yeah, like even when like I'm finding like beats online or contacting with producers where I'm like, hey, I like this beat, or like it'll be like a 2-minute beat, and I'm like, hey, do you think you can like add a bridge to it and like maybe add these septichords and make it like 4 minutes? And they're like, wow, most people just buy the beats. You're right. Like
you're too into
you're like you're creating a whole thing, and I'm like, yeah, like because I have a vision for it.
Yeah.
So like it's been a lot of that and really training my ear and figuring out what type of artist I want to be. But again, I'm also like not trying to put myself in pigeonhole. Like even when I go to the open mics, people are like, "What are you gonna sing?" I'm like, I can't tell you that because I don't want to be known as like, oh, he's that guy, right? Because some people are gonna be like, "Are you gonna sing Beyonce again?" Can't tell you that.
Yeah, no, you're just like Randy Jackson. It's like we never know what's gonna happen when we're on stage.
And I want my music to feel like that, like as you, and that's the most that's the most rewarding thing that I love is like if I perform a cover and somebody's like, "Is that yours?" Or as I'm releasing these originals and people are like, "Wow, like I love the melodies you're coming up with. Like this sounds like you. I can hear your personality." And that feels really good.
Hit Boy is in my head like most of the time during the day. I'm telling you, like I wake up, I'm like, no, I'm a Hit Boy.
and I'm like, it feels nice because it's like with some beginner artists, it's like you can kind of hear, oh, they're just trying things out. And technically, I am trying things, but at the same time, like I've studied so many people at this point that I'm like, I'm just referencing them, even whether subconsciously or not. Where like I'll hear
but
something.
That's how you come out. Like Carson Lewis kind of mentioned this. We talked to him a while ago, where I was talking to him about he's got a pretty unique voice.
Yeah.
And I asked him, because he can sing, and he was saying how like it took him a while to kind of find his voice because he would kind of mimic other people's voices until he kind of found his own.
Because that's technically how you start as a singer. Is like you're just mimicking what your favorite artist is doing. And for a while, it was just like, well, I want to sing like Beyonce. I want to sing like Mariah Carey. So I'm just gonna sing their songs because that's what I love. And through that, it was like, oh wait, I can channel my own voice.
You find your pocket,
find my own pocket. And as I'm writing, I'm I see myself referencing so many different people. Even just particular lines where I'm like, oh, I can harmonize like this song, or oh, I can start doing runs like this person, or I feel like I have this whole image of what the song could be because I'm referencing all these different artists. But again, it's just me trying things out. But I really love what I've come up with so far. Like it's only like one song that I've written that I'm like, I don't know. And it's not even that I think the song is bad. It's just like I can hear someone else singing it. Like I don't hear it for myself.
Yeah, that's all
because
right.
I'm also thinking like, okay,
it might grow on you too.
It might, but it was kind of like
different circumstances. They don't.
It was kind of like a trap song, and I was like, well, I don't. I'm not gonna say I don't like trap. It's just like, yeah, I don't. I really want to be known as a singer. I really want to be known as a vocalist, and I don't want to like. I think with especially when we're talking about like current times, like R&B doesn't really get the love that it deserves. Like it gets treated as like this like alternative thing,
really old school almost.
And they also just get every artist just gets lumped together, and it's like it makes no sense because it's like you wouldn't compare, you know, Paramore to the Queen. You know what I mean? It's like it's two different type of rock sounds. But it's like with R&B, it's like they're playing SZA and Layla Hathaway, and it's like they don't really. They're not the same type of artist. But unfortunately, it's like that's just kind of how it is right now. And so you know, even now, like when people, I'll start a new session with somebody, and they're like, "What type of music do you make?" And I was like, "Well, I haven't really thought about it because to be honest, it's just I focus on the feeling."
That was one of my main questions.
It's just whatever comes at the moment. You know, it's like if I want to do a dance song, I'll do a dance song. If I want to do the song that I want to release in October, it's more of a rock song, but it still has R&B elements to it. And even the producer that I'm working with was like, "Oh, you know, let's make this a more R&B fusion." I was like, "No. I want it to be a hybrid. Like I want this to feel like the Numb remix, like Linkin Park with Jay-Z.
Oh shit!
Where, you know what I mean? Where it's like this is still a rock song, but it still has it has the hip hop elements to it. You know, or you're listening to like Umbrella by Rihanna, where it's like, oh, this is a pop song, but there's a lot of like rock licks to it. Where like, oh, this could very easily transition into something much heavier.
Yeah.
I want it to feel like a hybrid, but you know, again, it's like I don't want to be put in a box because when I think about my favorite artists, it's like they didn't put themselves in a box. Like people talk about Beyonce now being like, oh, she's doing this, she's doing that. She's always done that. It's just people didn't pay attention. They're just like, oh, she's just an R&B singer. But now that she's saying, oh, this is a country album. Oh, this is me doing dance music. It's like she's done it before. I can give you again. I've studied. I can give you the examples. But if you just weren't paying attention, you're like, oh, it's pop music. Oh, it's R&B music.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, but like that's the thing. It's like what people don't realize is like pop isn't an actual genre. It just stands for popular music. So whatever you look at the top 40, the top Hot 100, whatever those songs are, those are all pop songs.
Yeah.
But again, they're not all the same, right? Listening to like Olivia Rodrigo is not the same.
For me, pop is the general. What is it? 4/4, like the beat where it matches your heartbeat. So there's a funny song that from the 90s called it was from the Blues Traveler called The Hook.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
It's a song making fun of us, of the listener of pop music.
Yeah,
it's saying it doesn't matter what I say, as long as I say it with conviction. Like I'm literally telling you, I can just say gibberish. It was all just literally just gibberish, but the hook brings you back. You know, like
right. But when I think about my favorite artists, where like when you listen to their albums, like it's an experience. Like it's like they have certain cadences and certain things that they're known for, but it's like they're trying different things. When you listen to Velvet Rope, like you're listening to funk records, you're listening to hip hop records, you're listening to electronic records, and classic traditional R&B records. But it's like you're getting all of it, right? You listen to Beyonce record, like even back then, it's like there were some elements that felt very 70s. There were some elements that felt very reggae. There were some elements that were like more hip hop inspired, or just a traditional like bubblegum pop song or whatever. Or even like Mariah Carey, where it's like, yeah, she's known for being a vocalist, but she's like also like, let me write this folk song, but like I'm gonna sing it like Mariah Carey. Or like let me sing this rock song, but I'm gonna sing it like Mariah Carey. Like you know what I mean? Like they're an experience. Like it's not just, they're not a monolith. You don't hear one Mariah song and you think you've heard them all. It's like no, they're multifaceted.
Did you take classes for all this too?
No.
Or
I literally
just like
YouTube University.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I would like to take a music theory class, but also at the same time, it's like I don't want to get stuck.
No, this feels more pure, you know.
Yeah, because like I don't want to get stuck just only learning about classical singers. Because no shade, I love opera, like I have respect for it, but that's not what I mainly listen to.
No.
And I think going into music theory, you're probably gonna focus more on classical. But I like with YouTube Academy, it's like they'll mix in the classical with the modern artists, where you can like where someone could talk about like like why certain I can't think of his name. I think it's like O'Neal Grand. He did a video on Beyonce, and it was really dope because it was around the time when she did Beachella, and people were like talking about like the transitions, like the way that she would just go into each song, and it was like because she would change certain keys, so it would transition into the next song, or like, oh, I'm gonna slow this song down so it goes into tempo of the next song.
That's what I was saying.
Or
maybe,
it's gonna
maybe get into music theory a little bit because when you were talking, it was reminding me of the Time Talk with DK and Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
With Tiger, he's really well versed in how to arrange music and all that kind of stuff.
Which I'm not. Like Roman's a lot better at that. Where it'll be like, "What's the tempo? Oh yeah, I know the tempo." Or it's this key,
a math. It's a mathematical formula. Where it's like, what emotion do you want to invoke? Right, it's got to be this kind of configuration. It's just number 2, number 3, number 4.
I think once I like build once I get like my own like type of like live show or live band, I think maybe I'll be a little bit more detailed in that regard of my own songs.
No, but like, it's good. You're with the emotion with the I would say the purity. Although what the hell do I know? But
no, I mean it's true. I just
feels that way.
I try my best to be pure about it because again, it's like some people are just thinking like I know somebody might just be like, oh, he's just like a pop star. He's like not really like taking serious. It's like no. Like they're I think good art is good art. It's not. Yeah. It's not. I don't treat it into one category because as you saw, like I listen to all kinds of music. I've always been this way. So as I'm learning and covering songs and recording songs, I'm like why would I put myself in a box? Like I don't listen. Like
there's no reason to.
If you look at someone's Spotify, it's usually not gonna be one artist, and if it is, they're probably trash because it's like why don't you listen to all types of music?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. I was gonna say it doesn't matter who it comes from. That's not true. It doesn't matter if it's a pop song or an R&B song or a rock song or a blues song. It's like music is music. Like you can, like
it's a universal language.
It's a universal language, and it's also just awesome just to see the evolution of things. Where you could be like, oh wow, it's like I grew up listening to this artist, and it's like I can hear this in this new artist. And some people might just be like, oh, I like the beat. And it's like, but you don't.
Or I can tell you, as a 40-some-odd person hearing things when you were little, you're hearing it a whole different way now. Like
I actually read a documentary. I mean, not documentary. An article about that. It was a few years ago. Where they were basically saying like your ear matures up to the age of 14. So basically everything that you listen to after that, you're just comparing it to that point. And I was like, that kind of makes sense. Because again, there's always going to be somebody that's just like, music isn't like what it used to be, and it's like you just have to look for it. You just have to look for it. It's different now because back then it's like you had MTV, you had 106 Park, you had all the different things, but now it's like it's everywhere. Like I'm finding music on Instagram, I'm finding music on YouTube, I'm finding music literally everywhere. Like I could just like listen to my favorite album right now and just let it play and see what the recommended tracks are, and it's like, oh, I found a new artist.
Yeah.
When I started posting my music on social media, it's like on TikTok, it's like every third or fourth post, I'm finding a new artist, a new whether they're local or they're from like North Carolina or just a bunch of indie artists. I'm also finding producers too. Yeah. They're like, hey, here's this beat that I came up with, and I'm like, oh, do you charge? Like, hey, would you like to work with me? Like, I'm like, and I'm like, wow, I could have been done this, but I just wasn't ready. I didn't feel ready. I didn't feel like I had enough to say, but now I'm like really owning up to who I am in my artistry, and I'm showing up.
Hell yeah!
And it feels really good.
So you're Love My Family. You've heard of the Artist Connect app? Are you on that?
Because they haven't made it for Android yet. And they keep saying
it's coming soon.
Yeah, they said it's coming soon. It's been a while.
Because that would help you, finding especially local producers.
Yeah.
But
I got a good amount now.
Good. I was gonna ask you that because for me, I was honestly a little surprised when you asked to come here to record with Roman the writer, and I was like, I figured you're you're plugged in everywhere, and I was like, here? I was like, sure. I mean, it's an honor, but I was like, so why us?
I mean,
yes, we strive on being very accessible, and it's one of the perks of when you play the tiny stage. You have access now to this studio to record however you want. You can use our equipment or just use the space as a lot of artists do.
I mean, to tell you the truth, like it was literally like Roman's idea. He was like, "You want to meet up at the tiny stage?" And I'm like, "Sure." And so then I asked you, and you're like, "Okay, sure." Which I had no problem with because I was like, "Well, Carlos is great. He's always been so supportive of me, and I really do take that into account because it's like, again, I've gone to open mics for the past 4 years, and it's like, I as a gay man, it's like you kind of understand like there are some guys that are very standoffish and are like, right? But then there's other guys that are like, "Hey, I love you. You're great. You're dope. Like I don't care who you are. You're dope.
I love you. You're great. You're dope."
And like, and so I got that energy from you. So I was like, okay, so I think he's cool. I would love to try this. Which I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was gonna be good or not. Like to be because again, the intention wasn't necessarily to record right away. But I just wanted to show him the idea and give him
kind of feel it out. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, "Okay, well, next week I'm gonna bring this, and that, and we'll be able to record." And I was like, "Okay," because I'm used to just going to somebody's house, but it was his idea, which I don't know if he's gone here before.
No, not that I know of. To record, so that's why I was like, I was like, oh wow, I was like, because in my head I'm like, they can go anywhere.
Yeah.
And they're coming here. I was like, hell yeah, we gotta get this shit ready. I was like, we gotta clean it up, like
for real.
We gotta vacuum a little bit. No, but for me, it's a big honor, and I don't know if you listened to previous Tiny Talks or we haven't really talked like that before, but like what I'm doing here with the Tiny Stage, it's my background is in soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Played my entire life. Played semi-pro, college, the whole thing. Played a little bit in Europe. And then when I moved to Denton, I started the first semi-pro soccer team in Denton, which the whole purpose of it was to help these kids kind of level up, like go to college.
Mm-hmm.
Because these kids, before that, they were like playing 3 games on a Sunday in Dallas, Irving, Fort Worth, like traveling like crazy people.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get noticed. And I was like, oh, wow. I was like, you just need like the right light shown on you. And it sucks that you have to like travel like the entire DFW, but let me form a team that we don't have to do that so much.
Yeah.
So like here with the Tiny Stage is very similar to that, where it's a free show here, but the whole purpose of here is that we want you to level up in whatever way it is.
Yeah. I mean, I genuinely thought
yourself, you know what I mean?
I genuinely thought for a long time I was like, that was my first goal when I was planning out like what I was gonna do after high school. I was like, I'm gonna try to work and save up, and I'm gonna move to Atlanta, and I'm gonna really be in the music scene because it's a big music scene there.
Yeah.
They also shoot a lot of movies and shows there because I still want to act. But as I've really started networking for the first time, I'm like, wow, like again, I could have done this, but I'm like, wow, Dallas is a really dope spot. Like I don't really need to move. I mean, if push comes to shove, and like it has to be done where I have to move to LA or I have to move to Atlanta to be more in the scene. I can revisit it then, but it's like as I'm an up and comer, it's like I can do whatever I need to right here.
Yep.
And eventually, like whatever happens. But like like Erykah Badu, she's from Dallas.
Yep. What the hell is happening with my student mixer? Sorry.
But yeah, like Erykah Badu, she's from Dallas. Like, I've met some of the band that she tours with because they still live here. You know what I mean? RC and the Grits. You know what I mean? Like they, which I'm like, oh, wow, like that's crazy. I'm thinking like, oh, they're probably from Philly or something. It's like, no, they live here. Yeah. They travel, but they live here. Yeah. I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay. Like,
and you have the support here. You have you have the network. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it feels
all around you.
It feels really good.
Yeah.
But to wrap this up, I would say my future, my all, like I would say the ultimate goal that I have for myself is to be a recording artist, but I would love to stay an actor. I don't know what that really looks like. I think I would say I would be the most satisfied if I continue to do theater and voice acting. But if I, got the opportunity to do films or to book a series, I would love that too.
Yeah.
I would love to do Marvel. I would love to do Invincible. I would love to be in comic books.
The Love My Foundation, we have some connections now to the Pocket Theater.
Oh,
So we're looking to do. Like, we were kind of toying around with a little kind of play about like the creation of Love Mike or whatever.
Yeah, she asked me about it.
Right? See, yeah. So
and she gave me like the
stay
rundown.
tuned.
She wanted to like give me like the story, and I was and there were a few like messy parts, and I was like, maybe don't say that part.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she was like, okay. I was like, focus on the positives. Like,
Jenna needs lots of filters.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, stay tuned for that. We're going to be having some good opportunities, hopefully for all that kind of stuff.
That's the ultimate goal that I have for myself, because I music is my first and foremost like my biggest passion, but I do still love acting. I still do theater. I still really want to act as much as I can, but I know it is a bit of a tricky thing because like when we talk about like triple threats, it's like one, it's like you might like there's going to be two arguments that you can make. There is like the one argument where it's like they're not all equally talented at all of those three things, or it's like the second one where it's like they're not doing it all at the same time, right? When you think about like someone like Cher, for example, it's like when she started doing movies, she wasn't doing music, or when she would try to release again, she would take a break from acting. It was like, push or pull. I think the only example I could think of is probably like J-Lo, maybe, but like she started acting first, right? She was a backup dancer for Janet Jackson.
In Living Color.
Yes, she was a fly girl.
Yep, she's a fly girl.
Then she had a pretty pretty lucrative film career. Then she did Selena, and then they were like, oh, she wants to be a recording artist, and then she started really really singing and doing music, and then she started to do movies and music at the same time. But as time has progressed, it's slowed down a little bit, where like she'll do a couple movies and then try to release an album, do a couple movies, do a show, like, you know what I mean? It's a little spaced out now. Yeah. So there was a small period where she was doing it at the same time, but for the most part, it was like, most artists that you could think of, it's like they're not acting and doing music at the same time. It's usually like
I think they have people that know where their lanes are. Like J-Lo's like, I'm more of an actor than. Well, this is just my opinion.
Well, if you ask her, she said she has more of a musical theater.
Yeah, voice. Whatever. Ask her. Yeah, whatever.
Hey, listen. You like it, I love it. But yeah, I mean, it's like I know it's gonna be like tricky, because even when I was doing band theater choir in high school, they were like, "You're stretching yourself a little thin."
Yeah.
Which I did not feel it, and I only felt it once senior year, because I was doing marching band. I was doing a show in the midst of marching season where we were doing competitions every weekend.
Oh shit!
And I had the lead role where I was doing monologue after monologue, and it was a lot. Yeah. And it was my senior year, so I'm trying to audition for all these colleges, and trying to get acceptance letters, and like it was a lot. And so I that's the only time that I stretched myself so thin. But before then, I thoroughly enjoyed being in all three. I loved it.
Yeah.
Because again, I love music, I love acting, I love collaborating with people. I love being in the thick of it. When I think about like one of my favorite artists, like Duran Bernard, like he sung background for Erykah Badu. That's how he got discovered. And his father is like a touring engineer. He like would engineer the tours of like Earth, Wind and Fire, Rihanna, etc. And so he's kind of always been on the road, and he's he's his own artist now, and releases his own music. But like he'll still sing background for people. He'll still he may show up in like a YouTuber skit or something. Like he's still like so like doing all types of things, and also does like a little bit of theater. And I'm like, yeah, like I want to do that. I really want to do that. But I think voice acting makes the most sense, because I could be my own singer, but I could also like focus more on the character, and it's not like super distracting.
Right.
But again, like I would still love to do movies. I would still love to do TV shows. Like I just want to do music and acting.
Okay, we have to plan your Tiny Stay session to be like a whole like like a theatrical like a different kind that we ever had before, because it's funny that Roman the Writer is going to be having his second birthday bash this Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And his first one over here, we were expecting 100 people, so we had the parking lot closed off.
Okay.
And we're doing sound check, and we were doing what's called a walking sound check, because a lot of the artists want to get off stage and go around the audience, Mm-hmm. So we're making sure that the mics don't feedback like crazy everywhere. And we had sort of like block where like the audience was kind of like in the parking lot, mm-hmm. And then when you're in the parking lot, kind of looking in, it looked like the whole patio and the stage was like a set.
Mm-hmm.
Like the stage was part of the set. The patio was also part of the set. And I was like, yeah, if anyone wanted to have like their own kind of like play or like production, like that kind of thing, we have the whole team right there. And I was trying to convince actually Fantasy to kind of do a sort of similar thing for his show. But yeah,
maybe
the possibilities are almost endless over here. So I would love to like plan like an actual like a whole like where it's like a play. You know what I mean? Like it's not just your typical show.
See,
like
I haven't gotten into my screenwriting bag, but that's another future goal of mine. But like I got a long time. I definitely need to study more.
All right.
But
when that comes around, keep us in mind because
I
would love to freaking have that over here.
Okay, we gotta wrap this up because
I know it's almost 2 hours now. This is what happens with the Tiny Talks. We try to keep it an hour, then it goes to 3. Okay. No, but I can freaking talk to you forever. But thank you so much for coming out here. For finally doing a Tiny Talk, and also for utilizing the space. I had no idea that we were this significant kind of portion in your musical career a little bit.
I mean, you are, yeah.
And
shout out to Roman.
It's a huge honor for you to be here and to work here.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever we can do, we're gonna make it happen. Let me end. I always like to ask this question at the end of every Tiny Talk, especially with you since you're looking to collaborate with people. Is there anyone that you haven't collaborated with yet that you would like to in the DFW community? So far, Roman the Writer is done.
Definitely.
Let's check.
Definitely. I would love to work with Malachi.
Oh, wow.
He's nice. Such a phenomenal vocalist.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he hasn't
videos where he does like the whistle, like the Mariah Carey whistle.
And I'm like, I don't know why he hasn't released any of his originals yet, because I'll be hearing it and I'm like, dude, put it out. Like, but I want to do a duet with him. Like, I would love to just like, we could just like sing together and like sing like a love song or something. I really want to work with him, but I know he like lives in Denton, so like he's like the farthest away. So I know that may take some time.
He's around though.
Yeah. But I would love to.
Malachi. You hearing this, Malachi?
Yes.
I call him Malachi.
Yes.
When he performed here, he was opening for, I think it was Haley Marie.
That's my sister's dog.
And I was reading his Instagram name, and I was just like reading it phonetically. I was like, oh, Malachi. And they were like, it's Malachi. I was like, oh, fuck.
So definitely.
But now I call him Malachi.
So definitely Malachi. And also Remy Riley. I love her so much. She's such a phenomenal writer. And I would love to just, even if we don't like necessarily sing together, like it would be cool to just to write something together, and maybe I could write something for her, or maybe she could write something for, or vice versa, whatever. I feel like it could be like really, really cool. But yeah, definitely like those two.
Have you thought about reaching out, or just kind of like waiting for the right time?
Well, I think I mean she's been recording since she was like fairly young, so I'm like I need to catch up. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like. I know she's probably going to be
super accessible, like super humble, like
She is, but it's like if I'm gonna like really, really, really like collab, like I want to make sure like I'm on
it right.
I want to do it right. I don't want to just be like, here's an idea, let's just figure something out. It's like no, like she's a legit musician, you know, like I'm a musician too, but like I'm still learning like all the things that I want to do, and I feel like I should at least like have like a EP or like a or at least a few singles before I could reach out and try to work with her. But definitely Malachi. Like I would love to like do a duet with him, and I'm sure I can like. And once I find something that I feel like could be like, oh, this needs another voice, like I'll definitely reach out. Or maybe if he has something for me, Malachi, if you have something for me, I'd love to sing. But yeah, definitely those two. And Hyro, I love Hyro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I haven't worked with him yet.
He's Tiny State's producer,
Yeah, but I have his merch. He's really dope. I love him. I would love to work with him. I mean, he's a performer too, so I would love to see like what we could come up with together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say those three: Malachi, Hyro, and Remy Riley.
All right.
But I've worked with a few people already. I worked with Andromeda already.
Nice.
He helped me produce one of the songs I will be singing tonight. Um, I worked with Hayes. He helped me engineer.
Wow.
He helped me engineer a song that I'm
I
working
love
on.
Hayes.
Uh, uh, I mean, again, Rebel Floor. We've recorded a few times. She has a song for me that we need to record together. I forgot. I need to follow up with her on that. She works a lot. I think those are like the main people. There's a few people that I've reached out to, but it's like just kind of scheduling things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a list on top of like all the producers that I've discovered or reconnected with or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a long list, but yeah, we work it. We
All
work
right.
it.
We're gonna get the word out to everybody. All right, final question.
Okay.
We're approaching 2 hours. Pretty good. But final question. I'd love to end this with every artist, especially hearing your story and how you've kind of cultivated your own kind of path with this. That's your camera over there.
Like
that
that
phone
one?
right there. Yep, right there.
Okay.
That's you. You're talking to your fellow DFW artist. What is the best piece of advice you would give them if they're trying to level up, or maybe they're in a spot where they feel kind of stuck, or you know, to progress in some kind of way with your experience and your drive and everything else?
I would say trust your voice. Like yeah. I mean it took me so many years to really understand like who I wanted to be as a vocalist, who I wanted to be as a songwriter, because I just felt very discouraged for so long of like people saying like you can't do this or like what makes you special, what makes you tick, and you can't buy into that. You know, like it. Sometimes you can use it as fuel to be like, all right, like I'm gonna show you. But at the end of the day, you truly have to believe in yourself, and if you trust your heart and trust your voice, like sure enough, there's gonna be people that are gonna like match the same vision as you, or even if like they may have a hard time understanding, it's like you have to be willing to like fight for it. And once people see that passion in that fight, they're gonna be like, all right, I want to work with him because like he knows who he is. Um, and people always say like I'm you're so confident, you're so confident. I wish I had your confidence. Um, it's a little bit of delusion. It's yeah, I'm a little delulu, but you kind of have to be. You know, you kind of have to be. It's like I'm just faking it till I make it, and I don't necessarily feel like I'm on the other side because like I'm still up and coming. I still haven't even got into voice acting yet. I'm still doing theater, but it's like I'm not necessarily getting the roles that I wish I could be getting. But you just have to keep pushing until everything is divine timing. You know, what's for you is for you. Um, so yeah, I mean, I just think music is if music is truly your passion, then you just ride with it, just rock with it, and all you have to do is just try, and you may not get it the first time, you may not get it the third time, you may not even get it the 10th time, but if you keep trying, it's gonna work out eventually. You know, and that's another thing that I learned watching all of my favorite artists and really studying them and seeing like when they were struggling, it's like they the fact that they were willing to show that struggle, you know, for someone like Beyonce, for example, with her Beachella, where like she had just had twins, it was literally on like nearly died having those twins, and coming back into those rehearsals where she's much heavier and much thicker, and we're seeing her like rehearse for these dances, and she's like, you know, like kind of almost passing out and like kind of looking confused and being like, I don't think I can get this, and like the greatest performer alive, literally saying rehearsal humbles you because you're not gonna get it the first time, right. You're not gonna get it the 10th time, but you have to keep pushing. And I'm like, wow, if even the greatest performer alive is still saying things like that, and I'm like, so what's my excuse? Like, just keep. You got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. If this is something you truly want, you have to work for it.
Rock with it,
because it's not. It's not easy. And you're gonna say, oh, well, so and so has this, so and so has it. Yes, people are very lucky. You know, it is. There's a part of it where you are lucky, but to stay present, to stay relevant, quote unquote, you have to work for it. You know what I mean? It's like once you get that lucky moment, it's like it's just a moment. It's like you still gotta promote this, you still gotta perform this, you still gotta convince people that I'm it. I'm whatever. So you gotta push, you gotta work. So if you really are passionate about this, if you really want to do this, you got to study. Because I'm forever. I'm gonna say this to the day that I die. I'm forever a student. I'm always gonna learn how I can be better, how I can improve. I'm not competitive with anyone. I'm competitive with myself.
Yeah.
How can I make myself better? How can I achieve greatness? Um, and how can I be the best version of myself? Because it doesn't matter who sings better. It doesn't matter who dances better. Who you think is a better writer. If you perfected your craft to your best ability, it don't matter who you stay next to. Yep. You gonna shine.
Yep.
You gonna shine. Like it. I feel that in me, that when that day comes, if I ever get the opportunity to perform with Beyonce, I know I'm gonna hold my own. And I'm not gonna say this being cocky. I'm saying this because I've studied her too many times to not give my all, to not just run away screaming. I'm like, no, I'm gonna perform. Yeah. Because she taught me how to perform. I'm gonna if I ever get the chance to do a tribute to Janet Jackson, I'm gonna perform the way that I performed all those years studying her. If I'm gonna do it, if I ever get the chance to sing a record, I'm gonna sing my ass off because she showed me how to sing my ass off. Yeah. When I'm stacking my vocals, I'm always thinking about Brandy, being like, what would Brandy do? Because if it's 20 stacks, it's 20 stacks. I don't care. Mm-hmm. If it, I'm gonna make it sound the way that I want to. So follow your heart, trust your gut, put in that work.
Keep rocking with it. I love it. Oh. Alrighty. 2 hours exactly on the dot.
Oh God. Wow. I hope Roman doesn't hate me. I told him I was like, I get an hour, you get an hour, and then we're gonna perform. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
What are you gonna do?
But he might be a rambler too. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. So you gotta be patient with him then.
No, I am. I'm very patient.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for listening.
Tiny Talk number 39.
I made it to my 30s, y'all.
And
I'm not in the 27
Hit Boy's
club.
Out, right?
Yes.
Hit Boy's out everywhere?
Yes, everywhere.
First release?
Yes. Hit Boy, Growing Pains, and Hit Boy, Liz Lenny Style with Roman the Writer.
Check it out, and I'm telling you, it's going to be in your head, because it's as soon as I wake up, I'm like, I'm like doing things. I'm like, I'm a Hit Boy. All right, everybody, that was Tiny Talk number 39. We're going to wrap up here for a minute, and we're going to get ready for Roman the Writer. But thank you so much again. I guess you got any shows coming up or anything special? Or because I know we're going to plan this Tiny Talk, Tiny Stay session where we're going to have like actors. It's going to be a whole. We're going to have our first play. You know.
I
can't wait for that.
That's probably gonna take a while, but
July, August, maybe.
I don't know. We'll see.
September.
I mean, I don't know. Well, we have. So I have. It's the final weekend of my show. I'm in a play called Our Town. It's at Allen Contemporary Theater, so that's the last week.
Allen Contemporary Theater.
Mm-hmm. So it's 3 shows. It's Friday and Saturday at 8 and Sunday at 3. There's actually doing a discount now, so you can get it I think it's usually $30, but they're doing $5 off. If you just go on the website, they'll tell you what the code is, so you can get the discount for the last 3 shows. And then after that, I'm gonna be in Shrek at Firehouse Theater.
Hey.
Which that's not until like late June, but that's the next show that I'm in. But other than that, you can, for the most part, you're gonna find me at the Love Mic on Mondays and the Freeman Liz Michaels open mic. Which if you follow my Instagram at Gregarious_2 at Gregarious_2. If you follow my Instagram, you'll see me post those videos. But I also have my YouTube, which it's just Gregory now. So GREGO accent RY. If you follow that YouTube channel, you'll see all the covers that I've sung over the years. And at the Creatives Factory too. That's another one. I hate that I didn't mention them. But yes, love the Creatives Factory. They've also been such huge supporters of mine too. Really loving my voice.
Christian and the Creatives Factory quite possibly were the catalyst for the Tiny Stage even being created.
They're like the Godfather, yeah.
A little bit, yeah. They gave us our first acts.
Shout out to Christian.
Shout out.
Both Jonathans.
Major shout outs to the Johns. All right,
time for Roman.
Let's wrap this up. All right, thank you so much. That was Tiny Talk number 39. Stay tuned here in a few minutes for Roman the Rider.
Okay.